Well, you know one person who can.
Brittany Broski.
I was going to say Alex Jones.
Stop that. Hello and welcome to Rewatching Home Movies, a weekly watch-along podcast where three friends break down the 1999 animated series Home Movies. My name is Tim, and I'm obsessed with home movies.
My name's Adele, and I'm a home movies newbie.
My name's Marcin, and I've never seen home movies.
Home Movies, Season 1, Episode 4, titled Brendon Gets Rabies. Original air date May 17th, 1999 on UPN. Written by Brendan Small, Lauren Bouchard, H. John Benjamin, Paula Poundstone, Melissa Barton-Galski, and Bill Brodus. Produced and directed by Lauren Bouchard. Synopsis for this episode, as per the Home Movies fandom wiki, it's one sentence. Paula promises to take care of the neighbor's cat, but it runs away.
I didn't know where this episode was going to go when we first started out at a pet store, but I probably should have, from the title. But I didn't read the title, so I was very surprised the whole time.
I think that, especially in the beginning season episodes, I think that's okay to not read the title. Because, I would have given away a lot of what was going to happen.
Yeah, I thought he was going to buy the snake and just start feeding mice to the snake the whole episode.
Well, I think we're definitely going to jump into this episode. As a matter of fact, I know we will. That's literally what this podcast is. But before we do that, why don't we take a little pit stop in the Cozy Creative Corner? Who wants to go first?
I went first last time.
I think Tim should go first.
Guys, okay, let me put it this way. I'm going to mention a video game that I play.
Okay.
I think you know what it is. It's a little game called Fallout 76.
Oh, shit.
That's right. I play a lot of Fallout 76. I have for a while. It is a game that I've played from the beginning, so I know firsthand how much better it has gotten. Roast me in the comments if you must. But I remember when that game truly did suck, but now it sucks so much less. And I meant to look it up while one of you guys were doing your creative corners, but there's an event going on right now, and it consists of a parade at the top of every hour. And once you do the event, there's a 0.05% chance that you'll get like an ultra rare mask. So needless to say, I have been running up to that parade every hour. And even if I just do the parade and that's it, it's like, yep, it's 55 minutes. And I'm like, oh, can I join the parade?
Isn't that the one-line conceit of AAA games in the modern day? 3 years ago when it came out, it sucked, but now it's
That's
good.
Adorable that you said 3 because it came out in 2018.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, 5, that's true. Or how, oh my God, and they just keep coming, they just keep coming, and they just keep coming, and they just keep coming.
Yeah, the years and also the content for Fallout 76.
What a good segue.
You like that?
I did.
Yeah.
They have new content dropping at the beginning of March, and that's when I'm going to get into it again. I try to get so many people to play. I've got a couple friends. I got a coworker who added me on PlayStation and then saw how much I was on and was like, maybe I'll buy a copy of that Fallout 76.
2 years ago on my birthday, he bought me Fallout 76, and we still haven't played together. Mostly because I just can't justify buying PlayStation Plus right now. It's just stupid.
I get that. I get it. But I might say, I'm not trying to rub it in or anything, but I might just say that maybe a mutual friend of ours who might be picking you up tomorrow morning told me he was going to be getting a copy, and maybe we'll start playing with me in March with the new content drop.
Yeah, I think you should.
Did I just start some shit?
Should I just plug Punkin'
Yes, please.
Yeah, Punkin'. I should probably start plugging him, a little bit more.
Sure, why not?
That should be
plug whatever
everyone's
you want.
creative content.
I do want to state, I wanted Fallout 76 to be good from the jump because I love Mothman and West Virginia and that whole idea.
It's all in there. I don't stream much these days on Twitch, but when I do, it's usually Fallout 76.
And it's usually when I'm at work, when I get the notification, I can't watch it.
Yeah. What I do is I call your work and I'm like, give me his schedule. I make that my stream schedule.
Also, there's going to be a point where I make you play Fallout New Vegas, which is my favorite Fallout. Yes. I know everyone who's listening is probably saying that. It's true, and I will make you play Fallout New Vegas. I'll make you play it too.
Oh, yeah.
I'll play it.
Yeah, I'll play it.
We'll do a night where we just stream it.
Hell yeah, yeah.
Ooh.
Fallout New Vegas is genuinely my favorite. I had it from the day it jumped out. I don't like it was a fucking monster out of the bushes.
The day it jumped out, man. I was working at Blockbuster when it came out.
Really?
Hell yeah.
I love that game.
I remember
so
when
much.
it came out. My old roommate played the shit out of it. Not my roommate now. She does not play Fallout.
Oh, we're roommates.
And they were roommates. Oh
They were roommates the whole time.
Did you have anything to say about Fallout? Because otherwise I'll just keep talking about Fallout.
Literally have nothing to say about Fallout because I haven't played any of it.
Which
so
is
I have
why.
nothing to add.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
But you
Sorry.
did make a comment the other day that you wouldn't you
Yeah,
didn't
I'd
mind
play
trying
it.
it out.
I would play it.
Do you like RPGs, role-playing games?
Yeah.
Did you ever play any?
I mean, I'm not opposed to playing whatever.
No, I meant
I'm
like
pretty open to playing any kind of game.
like what were the video games that you did play?
The main video games I've played are like Minecraft, The Sims. That's why Teresa and I get along so well.
That's what Nick plays too. Not The Sims. He should play The Sims, but he usually plays Minecraft. A lot of Minecraft.
We played Minecraft when we started.
We did.
Oh, you
We
told me
played
about
that. We
that.
played Stardew Valley together. I like Stardew Valley too.
Mm-hmm.
Any kind of like where you like have to survive. I like those kinds of games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like. I'm not a huge fan of those. I really don't like Don't Starve, but Eddie loves Don't Starve.
I've heard good things, mainly from. Was it you who were telling me that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we downloaded it on Switch and then never played it.
Yes.
just
Because they have a co-op game.
Yeah, don't Starve together.
And certain people have certain aesthetics when it comes to games. Like I made Nate play the entirety of Life is Strange, and he was just not as into it as I would.
Life is Strange.
I love Life is Strange, but
We
Nate,
only played the first one though.
same 2. I played the first episode of 2, which I actually really, really, really liked, and I want to play True Colors too. I just the first game is so iconic to me, and the soundtrack's amazing. I listen to that on a good day. But I made Nate play the entirety of it, and he's not one for mysteries or like choosing choice-based games either. So we got to a point and he's like, why am I here?
I feel like we should set it up that nights that we record. That if you do come back to the apartment, we should set up.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
I would love that.
I think our living room is a good gaming living room.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
We were just talking about that.
I see you guys through the windows.
Fair.
Not when you're streaming.
Who's next?
Do you want to go next?
I wanted you to go next.
I went second last time, but I'll go second again.
Okay. Did you want to go last?
It doesn't matter to me. I'm pretty easygoing in my old age. Anyway, I'll go next. So Tim actually suggested this one to me because we were talking about this earlier. The one podcast I listen to a lot is the Broski Report with Brittany Broski Nation. She's just so funny. It's just like hanging out with a friend or somebody that I desperately want to be friends with because she's so funny. But she's also so intelligent, and she has a YouTube channel as well. She's actually the kombucha meme girl.
She has like two faces. One's like, and the one's like,
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what kind of put her on the map. Right?
Yeah, that's what. And then she just kind of ran with it, and she has her own like business now. She has a great show on YouTube called, I don't know what it's called, but it's like a talk show, a medieval themed talk show where she brings on guests and they're like answer medieval themed questions about themselves. They draw their own crest, family crest.
Oh, that's actually really fun.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
And then on her YouTube channel, she also has a playlist for like fine art, history. She's just super smart, super funny.
Royal Court.
Court. That's it. Yeah.
The YouTube.
Such a good producer you are.
Thank you.
It's a good show, and she's
Yeah.
had on like a bunch of people that we also enjoy.
Yeah. And her podcast, like it's intelligent. It makes me laugh, but it also has made me cry like multiple times. She gets into some really deep topics that are just that are just hitting me right in my good feels.
Were some of those the TikToks that you sent me?
Probably.
Yeah.
I send them to everybody. I'm just like, she's so funny.
Brittany, I will say Brittany Broski, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and podcasts for one person to do solo, I really don't listen to a lot of podcasts like that because a lot of people can't pull it off.
Yeah, well, you know one person who can.
Brittany Broski.
I was going to say Alex Jones.
Stop that.
You do not speak his name.
You say it as a joke.
I know.
But there's going to be like one person that hears it and is like, hell yeah.
Yeah, it's finally Tim's got the right idea. The globalists are out there for... No, no.
I second Brittany Broski. She
Yeah.
makes very good content. She's very funny, naturally funny. She's super, super, super.
Yeah. And she's like 100% herself. Like she bears her soul to the internet and like just, you know, whatever's on her mind, which is a lot of like, it could be anything. It could be fucking fan fiction to religious trauma. Like it's a broad
And I feel like this is, you said this is kind of her brand, but Brittany Broski is a very like, what you see is what you get. This is not like, she is genuine.
Not a character.
Yeah.
Which I was trying to, me and Nate were having this conversation about what it takes to be on YouTube. Like now, you know, back in 2016, you have to do slurs and anything offensive, and then that's what puts you on the map, iDubbbz. But now it's an era of a lot more authenticity, or I can't say that fucking
Authenticity. Yeah, you got it.
word. Yeah, you flexing on me.
You got it.
Authenticity.
Yeah.
Authenticity.
That's the one. But that's what the era of YouTube is, so I do really like creators like that. Didn't she have a Super Bowl commercial where she was part of it? I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure.
she talked about it.
She definitely like had a TikTok where she was reacting to a Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah.
No, there was one year where they did a Super Bowl commercial with a bunch of like memes and like internet people.
Oh, I
And-
didn't even know that.
Yeah, she talked about because it
Fake
was for
fan.
like
I'm a fake fan.
No, stop it.
Name her 5 song. But
Broski report, Royal Court.
because trying to do something for more Patreon content, which I'm very lacking on that because I'm just constantly working on a lot of different stuff. I thought about doing one of those just solo things, just talking about a bunch of different stuff, but I am a coward. There's no way I'd be able to do that and be okay with people listening to it because I know I'd say some wild, very like personal stuff. So for someone to do that, it's like you got to have a lot of faith in yourself.
Yeah. Well, I think that personal stuff that you're afraid to talk about, I feel like that is what people like about her because it's so relatable and it's like stuff that
For sure.
they wish other people would talk about, you know?
Yeah.
No, I definitely agree with that. It's just very hard to.
No, I get it. Trust.
Oof, yeah.
Trust.
Marson?
Oh yes. So I have, similar to rewatching stuff that we were doing with home movies. My partner Nick, I made them. Well, I didn't make them. I asked them if they wanted to watch Twin Peaks, and I was like, please, 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 please. And so we started watching Twin Peaks. We watched the first 2 seasons, like I think last year. And then we tried to watch the 3rd season, which is The Return, but you had to pay extra for it. So
I'll get you the episodes.
Okay? Well, I already started, but I would like that so I can get rid of Paramount Plus and Showtime and stuff like that. So I would appreciate that.
Yeah, no.
The legal way that you do that will be fine.
No, I have the legal DVDs.
But so we started watching The Return, and I love David Lynch so much. But when I watched The Return back in 2019, after watching season 1 and 2 of Twin Peaks back to back, I wanted to punch him in the face.
Yeah.
It's one of those shows, and Nick is feeling that exact same way now.
This is the 3rd episode we've done the creative corner at the top, and I am both not surprised that yours is Twin Peaks, but also very surprised that it took 3 of these.
Yeah.
I thought it would be the first one.
Yeah.
I actually I was trying not to bring it up, but I wanted to bring it up now because the last episode I brought up hers, their second album, their debut album, Invitation to Hers, is a Twin Peaks reference in the name, and it's also every song they did in the album is based off of the vibe of an episode of Twin Peaks, which is kind of why I love their music so much, because they love Twin Peaks. And Twin Peaks, for anyone who is listening, is the most... It stays with you no matter what. I want you guys to watch it, but it will stay with you for better or worse. For better or worse. You won't know why, but it just kind of drills into your head, and you just have to think about it.
Oh.
What?
But as long as it's not like a traumatizing, you have to think about it.
No,
I got enough of those.
It's very much how David Lynch feels about art and creativity, because David Lynch is an artist foremost, and I really love his philosophy about art and directing and filmmaking itself. But the way he puts Twin Peaks is that Twin Peaks is just, there's this center mystery that turns into this branch of other different mysteries, and you can think about it in so many different ways, and it's up to interpretation, and it's all about love and hatred and like good and evil and how it works in the world. It just, I will go on and on and on about Twin Peaks. It's just it's a wonderful show that's filled with so many different creative, artistic, I love it so much.
How many seasons altogether?
3.
Season 3.
That's not a lot.
But it is. Like,
You can't just watch an episode and then be like, let's watch the next one. You have to watch an episode. You got to sit with it a minute.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to, especially the new season, I have to watch breakdowns of like, okay, what the fuck did I just watch?
Yeah.
There's a new season?
Well, the third season is a quote unquote new season.
Yeah.
But I knew, what was that, like 2017?
There's a 5-hour long video essay about the third season. Me and Eddie had to watch after we watched the third season. And I don't want to spoil it, but at the end of the last episode, me and Eddie looked at each other because we paused it at the end of the episode because we were like, how long do we have left? It was 5 minutes, and we just looked at each other because we knew. And the show ended. Not going to say what happened, but Eddie got up, laughed like a deranged person, walked to his room, and then slammed the door. And I didn't see him for the next 3 days, and we were living with each other at the time. It was a time. It's up, but now we still love it. It's such a thing for you to talk about and think about forever.
All right, the Twin Peaks episode will be the Patreon episode.
I'm sorry. yeah, sorry.
No, we're good. We knew this was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're gonna start putting when the banter ends and the episode breakdown begins.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
In the episode breakdown.
Yeah,
If people don't like the banter, I get it. You can skip it, but hey, we're people too.
When you put the synopsis, you have to start adding an ADHD friendly podcast.
Yeah. I have to remind people. I just want by the end, I want the list of everything this podcast touches on to be
it's
pages
gonna be
long.
so many. Yeah.
Pages
Oh my
long.
God.
All right, let's jump into it, gang. This is season 1, episode 4. Brendon gets rabies. A little trivia about this episode. I don't know if you noticed. Only episode of the entire series. No Coach McGurk.
I was waiting for him too the whole time.
Nope, no Coach McGurk. And then in the DVD commentary, they said that their intention for this episode was the Peabodys had a dog and not a cat. And UPN called them and said, no, we don't kill dogs in prime time. So they changed it to a cat, and they're like, all right, cool.
Oh
my God.
my. That.
Well, that's not cool because cats are people too.
That's right.
Yeah, the second the cat showed up on the screen, I was like, oh, this should have been the episode that I brought Nick in for, because Nick is obsessed with cats. And then very quickly, I turned to, Nick shouldn't be on this episode. Should never see this episode.
Fair. Yeah. So this episode, it opens with Melissa and Brendon, and they're in a pet shop. Melissa definitely makes a comment about the smell of the pet shop. I've worked in a pet shop, and
Oh, yeah.
yup. The one I worked at did not sell dogs or cats.
Okay,
They were
thank God.
No. Fish, rats, birds. Yes.
Do you know a lot about fish and birds now?
I worked in the warehouse part of it where I would like load up 50-pound bags of horse feed for some guy, and he'd give me $1. Pat me on top of the head.
Okay, so you didn't get to be in the cool little tank area
No.
and talk to
For the
fish.
most part, no.
Ah, damn. That's the best
Sorry.
part.
Yeah. They're looking at the dog. I love it. Brendon is tapping on the glass. He's like knocking on the glass. Melissa's like, don't tap on the glass. He's like, I'm not. Dun, 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 dun.
I'm knocking.
Such a little kid thing to do. I'm not doing that. And then beat.
I really like that the owner brings out the puppy and tells them, yep, you can both hold the puppy. Brendon holds the puppy for 0.4 seconds. And Melissa is holding the puppy like the puppy's like giving her little kisses and like she's like, did it rub up against your neck? And he's like, Brendon's like, yeah, we passed by each other.
I was going to say, just from the... did you guys have any pets growing up?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't have any cats because we were an anti-cat family, which I don't subscribe to that.
Yeah. It's just a symbol of masculinity to a lot of people. It's just, we can't have cats. It's too feminine. You know?
We had dogs.
I don't remember why my dad was against cats because we've always had a dog. Mm-hmm. But when my mom used to be a bartender, and it was like actually around here, and one of the regulars came in with a box of like itty bitty kittens that it pulled out of the river. Yeah. So my mom's like, oh, we're taking this one home. And I mean, it was like the size of our hand when he got it. Oh. And the thing is, so the cats so we're at a podcast studio. There's 6 cats outside the store. One of them's name is Matthew, and our cat was named Matt and looked like
Matthew.
Yeah.
Oh.
We didn't name this Matthew, the children who had the cat who had Kitten's name. But yeah, and it looks like that cat. So it was one of those classic scenarios where like my dad, he's like, I hate cats. And then smash cut to like 6 months with this cat. And it's just like laying on him and he's like messing around with it and shit.
I love how just affectionate cats can be.
Oh,
just, dogs are very like aggressively affectionate, but cats, they're subtle about it. They're secret.
Yeah.
Dogs will love anybody who will love them, where cats, if the cat loves you, you know you're in life.
You've made it. I think growing up, the only thing I had to, because Jace was my first cat, and that was given to me by an ex of mine because I didn't want to have a baby. And so she was like, compromise, here's a kitten. I said I didn't want the kitten. And then she gave me the kitten and it was like, cool, I'm breaking up with you, but I'm keeping the cat. That was a fun time. But my Uncle Ed had a cat that could fetch, which was wild. Okay. And trigger warning, got hit by a car. And I think that was the day that I saw him cry once and only. So very affectionate. Cats are great.
Yeah.
So Brendon and Melissa in the pet shop, they get to hold a puppy. Peter, get the puppy. I love that. He's like, Peter, get the puppy. The pet shop owner was voiced by Lauren Bouchard, and he admitted in the commentary he was like 6 beers in when he did the voice. He's like, very unprofessional of me. What was I going to do? Fire myself? Like, basically. So yeah, after he shows them the puppy, he's like, hey, you guys want to see something very cool? And he asks if they have heard of the boa constrictor. So next scene, they're in the back. It's Brendon and Melissa, the boa constrictor. The shop owner has a bag o' mice, and Brendon wants to film it. Melissa not really feeling the idea, but Brendon's like, yo, it's nature. And just like those documentaries, he wants to make a series called Animals Eating Other Animals.
Yeah, that's a genre on YouTube.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I can't stand it. I know, like, yeah, you got to feed your snakes and everything. I just don't want to see it, man. It's sad. I don't want to see it.
Next scene, we find Paula Small in the house of their neighbors, the Peabodys. Peabodys, they are they're kind of the snooty couple on the block.
I like them.
I like them too, though. The wife calls the husband Monkey.
Yeah. I love that they are like a reverse trope of like, it's an older woman with like a
young dumb man,
quote unquote dumb blonde dude.
Yeah. The young dumb blonde.
Yeah.
And
I like that dynamic a lot.
Yeah, there's a couple scenes coming up that Mr. Peabody is he
kind of
he's great. I love him.
Well, just is this the first scene that we see them with where he said where she's like, no, I know what you were doing that night, like you didn't show up. I'm pretty sure that's the first scene where she was like, I'll do the cat stuff. And
yeah, it's basically a scene because it's one of those weird, like it's the same scene, but it kind of like fades into another part of the same, but probably because of the improv.
Yeah.
They're the first part they're introducing Paula to the cat, Alexandre.
Oh, okay.
And immediately Paula is like, do you not have time to say Alexandria? What's going on here? And no, it's just a super pampered cat. They tell her that she's got to be fed. You got to change the litter box every 20 minutes or so. Pretty obvious the cat is pampered. Paula asked if it was an outdoor cat, and what Mr. Peabody was like, oh no, we had the bubble, and the cat's eyes like go wide, and he's like, but we don't do that. We don't do that.
I thought the part where Mr. P, where she was like, so you're going to come to the block party now, right? And because we saw you home the other night, and
she's through the Venetian blind. And she's like, oh, I don't monkey. What were we doing that? Do you remember what we were doing that night? And he's like, yes, we were fixing the Venetian blinds.
What's his name?
I don't know if they ever get anything besides Mr. and Mrs. Peabody.
You know what it is? It's Monkey.
Monkey. I like Monkey.
Monkey Peabody.
Not to spoil anything, but do they ever come back, or is this the only episode they're in?
I believe this is the only episode.
Oh, shit.
Oh, they moved away after. Oh, I would move away after this, to be honest.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Especially if I could afford to. Yeah, I'm out of there. What do you mean?
Yeah, and right before the Venetian blinds, she's like, oh, Alexander, come here. And he's like, try this. Zitty, 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 boo, 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 boo. And she's like, with a gun to my head, I would not try that.
See, that's the conversation me and Nick have when we're trying to get one of the 3 cats into the bed. I'm like, they'll be like, Jace. And I'll be like, no, you got to do it like this. Jace.
You got to be deep about it.
And then sometimes, maybe if you're lucky, he'll come over.
Next, we see Brendon, Jason, Melissa, Dwayne all at the pet shop, and Brendon is filming the pet owner dropping a mouse into the snake cage. He's doing that kind of like Animal Planet narrator voice as we see the mouse running back and forth, trying to get away.
I like when the snake picked him up and was like, shove.
Yeah, the animation of the snake and mouse fighting is hilarious. The mouse is almost getting away. And then the snake finally gets him, and everyone is like, ew. And then Jason's like, again.
Do it again.
Jason
Derulo.
Jason Derulo. This is not a Jason Derulo podcast, guys.
I that's the only thing I know about him. I couldn't name a single song.
No.
I genuinely have no idea who you guys are talking about, nor do I care.
Oh, he does the wiggle wiggle. Okay, never mind.
Okay. Oh. That part okay.
It's like when you're going through the months, and it's like is it January? Jason Derulo. That vine. Never mind. I'll show it.
I'm so sorry.
Yep. I also have no idea what's happening right now.
I'm gonna find it, but later.
Yeah.
On Vine?
Indeed.
The next episode, you'll see what I mean.
Okay.
That'll be part of your creative core.
My creative corner, Jason Derulo. No, it's not.
Then I forget what happened after
Okay,
that.
so now we see Paula, Brendon, and Josie sitting at the table. Josie is covered in food. So that's when Paula tells Brendon, hey, go feed the Peabody's cat. I'm going to clean up the baby. And Brendon is pretty hesitant at first, but then, she uses it hey, this could be a little test if you can handle having a dog.
Which she's clearly lying about. On God, for real, just like that.
Yep, she explains where the key is in the fake rock. She does the whole yep, it's right next to the door, the fake rock. You turn it over, the key. I hope no burglars are listening to this. That's just classic Paula Poundstone right there. Paula mentions, Brendon's should I pet the cat? And Paula's like, dude, if you can pet the cat, go for it. She's like, I personally think the cat's a little snooty. And then they take turns making fun of the cat and its name. So that's when Paula's like, you're just chip off the old block.
I think that's what I like about the show so far is the relationship between Brendon and his mom. I think that's the most enjoyable thing for me to watch so far.
Yeah.
It's all very funny, but when those little tiny moments come in, I'm like, this is nice.
I think it's one of those things, they want, the characters themselves to go through all kinds of stuff. But at the end of the day, I think the core, family value and love is there. So that's, I do like that. And that's definitely throughout the entire series. It's not at any point.
Especially because she's so cool with him. Did we talk about how this cat dies? because she's so cool with him just murdering this cat. She's like, man, it's not your fault. And he was like, no, but it is. And she, you know what?
Now that you put it there. So Brendon is filming himself at the Peabody's. He's kind of making commentary on the fact that domesticating cats is saving mice and but unfortunately now we have to clean up their shit. And the part where he's cleaning the litter box and he's like, it looks like he was eating ribbons or
rubber band.
Yeah, that's But as Brendon is filming, he's got the front door open talking about the strange relationship between men and animal. Alexandre runs out of the house while Brendon screams, "Oh, I'm in trouble."
Didn't even jump for it. Didn't even run.
Have you ever accidentally let a pet out?
Oh yeah.
And dude, that moment until you find them,
my life is over.
Yeah.
That's how I feel the whole time, because either I'm gonna get really in trouble, or I'm never gonna see that, and I'm never gonna live that down. I'll feel guilty for the rest of my life.
I won't get into too many details that happened here at this very podcasting house. Someone might have accidentally left a door open, and a cat might have slipped out.
Did they ever return?
So this is the thing, man. After almost 90 days. And the thing is, most people, when they're, especially a cat, when it gets out a day or two, maybe 3, it was getting to the point where we're oh man, I don't know. Poor cat.
And then after 90 days?
Yeah.
What was the reaction?
So the thing with cats when they take off like that is a lot of times they think they're in trouble. So they'll try to sneak back in overnight. And so, You know, there's a lot of tricks too. Like they left a carrier on the front porch with like a bunch of their clothes in it. So the cats got the smell. There was like food and stuff like that. But they set up a little area in their garage. And ultimately they went in the garage and the cat was in there. But even then they like almost had to corner the cat to like get it and bring it back in. And yeah, it was like a whole thing. And like it was posted all over like those Facebook like lost pets. This lost dog found after 3 hours, and this cat found after 12 hours, and I was like, this cat found after 89 days.
That is such a terrifying specific thing, because when I had a childhood, my childhood home, we had such a huge yard and a huge backyard and a forest and my parents were like, we're not going to take these dogs on walks. They're either going to go outside and come back or they're not. But I was freaking out every time I would let Delilah out, which was my boxer. But she was super cool, went out to the edges, came back. But one time she saw a skunk or something take off, and she went out, and we did not know where she was for like 3 days, and I was worried sick until we had to go to the pound to like find, and I walked in looking for any sign of her, and then all of a sudden she just starts barking, and I recognize it, and I look behind me and she's right there. I'm like, oh, the weight that came off my shoulders. If I could bottle that feeling and that energy, douse it now.
Sell that shit.
Brendon takes to the streets. He's yelling for Alexandre. He's yelling, here, kitty, kitty, you stupid cat. So his mom rides up and, is like, you shouldn't yell, here, you stupid cat. Brendon's like, you should have heard what I was saying earlier.
Even right in that moment, she's already ready to write the cat off. She's like, don't worry about it. Let's go.
Yeah, she's like, almost immediately, she's like, it's not your fault. And Brendon's like, yes, it is. And at this rate, you're never going to let me get a dog.
Yeah.
Because that's his thing, is like, this was the test for a dog, and he is failing miserably.
Well deserved.
Yeah.
I do have this philosophy that I don't think children should have pets. I really don't.
I feel that.
Understandable, yeah. Probably until like 16 or 17.
Yeah,
and even then, it's like they're probably not going to take care of it.
They learn responsibilities.
So it's funny because Brendon is like, at this rate, you're never going to let me get a dog. And Paula is more upset that the Peabodys probably aren't coming to any block parties. And Brendon's like, that's the least of our worries. And his mom was like, no, I can't cook.
I don't know what to bring.
Dude, this is the wildest. So it's Paula, Brendon, Josie. They're sitting in the car. Brendon is so freaking out. And Paula is like, oh my God, there he is. Do you see? Look. And Brendon is like, oh my God, yeah, where? And she's like, I'm kidding.
Pranked.
Yeah.
That part fucking killed me. I know you had a reaction to that too.
I did. Oh, yeah, because that's so mean. I would have cried.
Yeah, Brendon is devastated. And she's like, oh, I was just trying to lift your spirit.
For a split second, you lifted his spirits.
Then tear them down immediately.
Again, she's very like, dude, it's not your fault. She was the adult in the situation, so ultimately it falls on her. Which I mean, I guess she's not wrong, but
no, I think she recognized it well, and she doesn't want him to like eat himself alive with guilt.
Right.
Good mom, but
coming from parents that would have yelled.
Oh yeah.
And like blamed it on you. I'm like, I can appreciate the switch up.
And you would bring it up any chance they got.
Right.
The next time you did anything bad or anything good, but you remember that one time.
And this is classic Paula. She is very like, no, it's not your fault. I'm the adult here. I'll take responsibility.
You love to see it.
In the same breath is like, so there's a little gap in their jaw where there's no teeth, and you could just stick a finger in there and pry their jaw open and give them pills. And
is that real? Like, do cats not have teeth on the sides?
No, I mean they do, but they have the fangs, so you can like kind of push them up.
That makes sense.
But it doesn't make it easier to put a fucking pill down their throat.
Yeah, and it's funny because even as she's saying it, like Josie's in the back, like sticking her finger in her mouth, like and Brendon's like, "What kind of pills are you giving cats?" And she's like, "Antidepressants." And that makes the comment of like, and that vet did not notice how fast those antidepressants were disappearing. Let me tell you that. Which is like another like it's so funny to me how much of an amazing / inappropriate mother Paula can be sometimes. But
I think she's my favorite character, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much that's going to change because I know you've said that she her voice actress changes.
Yeah, after this episode, one more episode with Paula Poundstone, and then it changes.
Yeah, so I don't know how. I know you said your opinion a little bit about the change, but
The character itself, the soul of the character, I think stays fairly accurately the same.
okay. But I really love her improv here, so I don't know what the difference will be, but I'm ready.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And at that point, Paula even kind of calls herself out. That's it's not appropriate to talk. For a mom to talk to her son like that. And Brendon is like, why don't we just get some alcohol and get drunk and forget about this? And Paula's like, I am. I already am drunk.
I like that they have a good time together when they're hanging out. I think that's my favorite part, too.
Yeah, the dynamic between Paula Poundstone and Brendon Small, I think is very good, which makes the dynamic between the characters equally, very good. So now we have Brendon, Jason, Melissa. They're coming up with a game plan for finding the cat. They go back and forth on how to pronounce Alexandra's name. Jason is like, it's a white cat, and Brendan's like, yeah. And Jason's like, is this it? And he has a clearly
brown cat.
Brown. Yeah,
just
cat.
Also, the way that he just like smacks down immediately. There's a cat.
Fly swatter.
Yeah.
So yeah, Melissa has a horn, so she sees the cat, she can blow the horn, and then Jason has the whistle. So they meet up after a while by a dumpster. Brendon hasn't found anything. Melissa's in the bushes and says she hasn't found anything. And then Jason pops out of the dumpster. He's got those cool guy shades on, so he found those. Melissa compliments the cool guy shades.
I did like the cool guy shades.
Yeah. And so Jason points out that that's my favorite part. Jason's like, we keep calling the cat's name, and our family cat never comes when you call him. So we're probably not going to find this cat. Like ever.
I love how just like very matter of fact he is about it. What are you guys doing? These cool guy glasses are in here.
Yeah. So now we're in front of Brendon's house. Brendon asks again if anybody found anything, and Jason has the pair of glasses and produces the dentures he finds in the dumpster. I made a note here. He puts them in his mouth and does a goofy voice while Brendon and Melissa, and then in parentheses, and probably Marson, are all very grossed out.
Yeah. He really earned his score this time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to hear his score now, or should we wait till the end?
Well,
We can wait till the end.
yeah.
Okay.
Because like when I always wait till the very end when he's the episode's over and he has no more screen time to finally.
That's fair.
But that really did gross me out. I put Jason looks like the Phantom, but like the Phantom of the Opera of like the black and white with that. Oh my.
Yeah. And then he's like, it tastes like an old man's mouth.
That's exactly where he cemented his score.
Yeah.
That's exactly right there.
A+.
You know what? Fair. That's fair. That's fair. But also, Melissa tells him to keep the sunglasses with the dentures because they could use them. They might be able to use them for a movie or something.
No, I agree with that though. Like that. Good prop. Good prop.
Do you know if the dentures return for like a future episode?
I wonder if they end up like maybe they're like in a background or in like a box of props or something.
We'll keep an eye out.
We're on denture watch.
I'm gonna put denture. That's good. I'm gonna put denture watch.
Denture watch. All right. So we are back at the pet shop. Oh yeah, Brendon is doing a voiceover while Melissa films the pile of kitties that are sleeping, trying to get like insight to where Alexandra is. He's like pounding on the glass. He's like, "Where's the cat?"
I thought he was trying to replace the cat.
Oh no!
I feel like the first time I watched it, I kind of felt the same. Like
Yeah.
I felt like he was going to try. That's a pretty classic trope, is to try to replace the cat.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the sitcom-esque thing would be like the cat comes back and now there's two of them and they're like, what?
Yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen when I first watched this episode, that they got the wrong cat and the real cat didn't have rabies. But
Especially because the cat came back and it looked completely fucked. Like it was.
Yeah.
I thought the reason that the blue and green eyes were prevalent because I thought that was going to be the deciding factor in it.
yeah,
Like, oh wait, his left eye is actually green, and that type of thing. But then it was just dun 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 dun.
Alexandra is dead.
Yeah,
I think I want to say blue and yellow.
I'll say blue and yellow too.
Okay.
I can't say anything.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm kind of colorblind.
That's all right.
Oh, my bad.
No, it's okay. I don't have no hard feelings on it. I just didn't know until I was in high school.
Well, this is an ADD/colorblind friendly podcast. So
Yeah.
You're amongst friends here.
I can't wait till we get to the one aspect of my thing that isn't friendly on this podcast. Like, you're going to throw me out.
No, never. So now we have Brendon and Melissa, and they're hanging up the flyers. And this is the flyer. Brendon drew like just a crude drawing of the cat. You know, Brendon is very pessimistic. I think it's been 2 days at this point. And Melissa's like, hey, don't think like that. She's trying to be encouraging. And as she's trying to be encouraging, we see a very, very messed up version of the cat walking up in the background. It's Alexandre. And immediately Melissa's like backing up into the house while she's talking. She's doing that kid thing where like she is like trying to remove herself from the situation as quickly as possible.
I wrote she is the smart one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brendon is trying to like, oh, here, kitty.
Also, it's kind of like a jump scare a little bit when you finally, because they're just talking and then in the background on like just this fucked looking cat just starts like approaching off screen onto screen. And then it cuts to a close up and you're like, where the fuck did that cat go?
Yeah. Yeah. And as soon as the cat bites Brendon, Melissa is inside.
Yeah, no.
She is right inside. Hey, they got the cat. Great news. Like Melissa is very much like Brendon. Something is wrong with that cat.
But he's just so happy for his guilt to be gone that he's like, yeah. No, give me the cat.
Commercial break. We come back. Paula and Brendon are at the vet. The vet is voiced by H. John Benjamin. I am a fan of this vet. I think he's very funny. He asked Paula if she saw the cat attack, and she said no. And he's like, oh, those things are fun to watch.
I wrote that down. I like that line.
The vet points out that the cat does have signs of having rabies, but ultimately they need to test the cat. And Paula's like, oh, what do you like ask it? And that was my favorite. He's like, although I can communicate with the animals. He has to be like, you know, they can't be honest.
They can't be like a horse that's broke its leg.
So he explains, they're going to euthanize or make cotton candy is what they call it around the kids and test the brain for rabies. At that point, that's when Brendon kind of spills the beans that it's not their cat. Mm-hmm. To which the vet is like, oh boy, they're going to have a fun little...
That's going to be a fun little thing when they get back.
The vet agrees, okay, I'll keep the cat under observation for 24 to 48 hours. But meanwhile, you need to go to the doctor. You need to get a vaccine. You need to do all that stuff. A little background visual as he's holding the box, like more and more foam is like coming out of the box. So it's like, oh yeah, this cat for sure
has rabies.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
I thought that was cotton. I thought that was cotton candy. Like, I thought that's what the joke was for a bit.
No, the joke was that, it was foaming. It was foaming that much that it was like coming out.
I love when Brendon's like, you got to take me too.
yeah. Brendon offers to go and the doctor's like, oh, we have just a cure for this. And he's like, have a lot.
What? I was waiting for his answer. He's like, what flavor is your favorite?
Yeah. So now we have the Peabodys at the vet. And the vet says we're gonna put the cat to sleep. So Mr. Peabody asked, for how long?
Love it.
That's
Love
such
him.
a good bit.
I love him.
Then the vet explains that they don't call it killing the cat. They call it making cotton candy. And Mr. Peabody he loves it. He's like, oh, I like the making cotton candy part.
Oh, then that's what we can call it. We're making lots of cotton candy.
The vet tells him they can stay, but it's got to be behind the glass. So then the next scene is a classic Paula on the phone scene, where it's just a little exposition. She's explaining that she's knocked on the door several times. They won't answer. But she's like, I've left them food, like Butterfingers and Cracker Jacks. Like, what a shitty thing to leave. But then mentions that, she found a pet cemetery and she'll foot the bill to get the cat buried there and a eulogy and all that stuff. So
I noticed that she's watering plants in this scene and the plants are dead.
Yeah, she is watering very super dead plants.
I didn't even notice that part. I was just I was like, where's the water going? Because the background has nothing there except just an outline. So that's what I was focused on.
Yeah. So we're at Alexandre's funeral. Mrs. Peabody is sobbing loudly while Mr. Peabody continuously shushes her.
Oh my God. Sends me every single time. That is like one of my biggest triggers. I hate being shushed, but just watching it, it's so funny.
I feel like I've done it as a joke once, and I'm like, even as a joke, I feel bad.
I'm sure I had a face when you did shush me.
I do it as bits a lot because Nate hates it. Yeah. He really hates it.
Unless you're at a comedy show or a movie, it's not really really appropriate to shush somebody.
One time, Teresa's ex-boyfriend shushed me, and I marched right out of Carson's. I left. I left Carson so fast.
What was the context? Was
I
he?
don't even remember. He just went shh.
Who
And I was
the
like,
fuck cares? There's no
You're right.
context needed.
and
You
that's
were
why
right.
Teresa broke up with him, because he shushed me.
That was the one. Yeah. Well, let me. Okay, how does this make you feel?
Oh, well, I mean,
For the audience
It
at home, I
depends.
put up one finger to like.
it depends on the context. If I'm
Yeah.
like interrupting something, and they need to be like, "Hey, give me 1 second," it's not that big of a deal. But like if they're just like, "Ugh," and it's like with malice, then I'm not a fan.
I did that to an ex of mine, and I still feel so guilty to this day because it was
Yikes.
over a stupid conversation I was having with Teresa and someone else about dubs versus subs.
Oh,
and then
God.
my
Yeah.
partner was there at the time and wanted to say something, but I was so like in the moment that didn't even look at her. I just raised my finger to her, and
Yikes.
yeah, I still the second I did it, I felt guilty like immediately, and I still feel guilty about it because she immediately went into the kitchen, and that energy was not good for the rest of the
Oh
night.
shit, dude.
Don't do that, guys. It's rude.
But to comment, dubs versus subs.
No,
Whatever
I-
floats your boat, man.
Okay.
Like
The
I'm
answer
not.
is whatever's in your heart.
Yeah, people who like shame for either side, they're watching anime. Let them enjoy the anime they
right,
want
right.
to
I thought this was a sex thing for a
Jesus
second.
Christ.
Oh, you really? Okay.
For 1 second.
Okay.
Just 1 second. And I was like, oh, right, anime is like
Yeah.
dubbed or okay. Yep.
That's dom and sub, babe. That's-
Yeah.
Hey, a boy can dream.
I'm a switch.
So, hey, we're at the funeral still. Mr. Peabody is shushing. I don't know if you caught this, Mitch Hedberg.
I was gonna say, I wrote it down. I was like, is that Mitch Hedberg?
That is Mitch Hedberg. He's
not
the
doing
voice
it-
of the eulogist.
Damn. Okay. I'm very happy about that.
He definitely one time pronounces the cat's name wrong. He calls her Alexandria Peabody instead of Alexandra Peabody, son of Poo Poo and Kite.
Kite was very funny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He says they're going to a small subdivision of animal heaven called Whiskerville,
Whiskertown. Oh no,
where
Whisker
the rivers
better.
flow with milk and the trees are filled with tuna.
Yeah. He's got style. I liked his outfit.
Yeah.
Got style, and he's
Paula,
got
Paula like scopes his shoes for a second. She like
Yeah.
looks down at his shoes.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he said that the ultimately they will find themselves buying less cat food.
Silver lining.
Yeah. I have the next scene they're driving. I have this scene queued up. Should we just play it?
Yeah.
It says Brendon and Paula are driving back from the Alexander's funeral.
Everything would have happened nicely if I hadn't done anything with the cat.
That's
If I
not
had-
true. It would have happened to somebody else. It was bound to happen one way or the other.
I don't think that's true. I think if I had not tried to feed the cat, then the cat would have stayed in the house and not gotten rabies and could have lived another 10
Now
years.
that you put it like that, I can really see that.
But it's... Mama...
Oh my goodness!
Oh, me.
You see how fucking quick that was? That scared me when I was watching it.
Oh, and wait, actually, I'm going to play this a couple more seconds.
Oh, for Christ's sakes!
Oh, boy. Mom, you hit the Peabodys.
Damn it!
Are they dead?
They're not. No.
No, they're moving. Oh, man.
That was my favorite. Are they dead? No, they're moving. Oh,
man.
man.
Oh, man.
That's the cut to the squirrel with the glass coming up.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought someone was murdered. Like that was my first instinct. It was such a jump scare for
So
me.
that part, Paula, for what, like the fifth or sixth time, is like, it's not your fault. And Brendon's like, no, and kind of lays it out chronologically, everything that
Yeah.
happened. And she's like, when you put it like that.
I like how self-aware Brendon is a little bit, like, because otherwise she's just like, nah, you're good, and he's like, no, I'm a monster.
I mean, it's better to feel guilty about it than him not giving a fuck that he just
Right.
killed the cat.
No,
Yeah,
exactly.
Very true.
I appreciate that he was like, no, I mean, because he did just leave the door open instead of opening a window to film outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. So real quick, then Brendon's talking to Melissa. Gnome on the bed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gnome spotted.
Gnome spotted. Both of you guys were making notes from the previous scene when that one started. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, wait, hold on. I'm going to rewind it a little bit for no particular reason at all.
Good looking out.
Yeah, I've done
but
that
yeah.
several times.
Gnome on the bed. Melissa is like, you got to do something for him. And pretty much recommends doing a little documentary. I like that a lot of answers to Brendon's life problems is a documentary is the way to go. So Brendon does just that. He makes a little documentary. He's showing pictures. He asks the vet what he's learned about treating animals after all these years. The vet is like, the one thing I learned is being a vet is not great. And he is holding a skunk's tail and has a glove on his hand.
Oh, yes.
That is, I mean, as someone who went to school with people who are becoming vets, they do complain a lot about sticking their fingers up animals' anus. So that's the big one for them.
I like the next part we see Jason, and he says that the thing that he learned is the search is the most important part, because when they found the cat, it had rabies. So the lesson is, if you search for something, don't find it.
Hell yeah, Jason.
Because if you do, it will have rabies.
That's such a good Jason line. That should have got him points. That should have got him up a little bit.
No.
It didn't.
No, I didn't.
Nothing.
No.
And then Mitch Hedberg, as the eulogist, he's got a nice little bit about the cat's understanding that a ball of yarn is beautiful. That humans take a ball of yarn and they try to make something out of it. They try to make blankets or sweaters. But a cat knew all along that the ball of yarn was good as it was.
That's a very Mitch Hedberg thing to say,
Right.
too.
Yeah, it's very deep and about a ball of yarn.
Yeah. Very good. I didn't even notice that the first time. I was too busy looking at that sick coat.
Yeah, it was a nice coat. It was like a rainbow coat.
Yeah.
The documentary ends, and the Peabodys and Paul are like, they seem to be like genuinely impressed. Like the Peabodys are in tears. They say it was very sweet and nice. And Brendan's like, are you guys patronizing me? And it's funny because Paul is like, no. And the Peabodys are like,
I felt that, though, when he played it. And it was like, oh, it's really good. I'm like, really? Like, really?
You guys mean that? Are you just saying that? And then I like that Paula apologizes for hitting their car, and he's like, I probably can't make a film about that and give that to you. So the penultimate scene, that's the one before the final scene, is we're in the pet shop. Brendon is buying a mouse, and he does so in order to save it from getting eaten by the snake. Brendon said he's going to take this mouse home with him because that's all he can do. And the mouse represents everything to Brendon that he can save. And as he's saying this, the mouse jumps out of his hands and runs under some shelves. Dwayne is like playing guitar. He like picks up his guitar, like holds his guitar like he's going to swing at it. Jason suggests they let the snake find it because he
wants to,
for whatever reason, thinks it's really cool when
I like that little comment from Brendon. He's like, oh man, like he's got to do it now.
Yeah. That scene ends with Jason suggesting they let the snake find it. So final scene is they're inside of Patty's plants, and Brendon is showing off the tiny little cactus that he just bought. He said he wanted the other plant, but apparently it needs a lot of attention. The plant is behind Melissa. It looks like Audrey too.
Yeah, it
from
does.
Little Shop of Horrors.
Hell yeah.
The little leaf on Melissa's shoulder.
Yeah, they cut back to Melissa at one point, and the leaf is on the shoulder.
There is a plant store here in town, and it's called Plant Parenthood.
I love that.
Yeah. Yep.
Hilarious.
How many protesters do they have outside?
0, surprisingly.
I would love to have at least one, and they're like, no, wrong one. Down the street.
Brendon buys a cactus. He sets it down, talks about how loyal and obedient he is, sets it down and says, stay. Good cactus. And that's it. That is the end of season 1, episode 4. Brendon gets rabies.
That's a good epilogue. That's a very good epilogue.
I really liked that episode.
I like this episode a lot.
Are we going to jump into the grades? Because I'm ready to give
Yeah,
my
let's
grade.
go.
Yeah.
Go
I
for
think
it.
this is the first time that I'm probably going to give an episode an A+. I really liked this episode. I liked the Peabodys a lot.
Yeah, I like their dynamic. Like I
Yeah.
said, the you were saying like the
reverse trope is
Yes.
is so nice. I like it.
very good to see. I like that. Marcin, you got a grade for this episode?
I mean, I think because of my fear of losing animals and
The anxiety-inducingness of the episode.
and then also there's no payoff except you did murder this cat.
Yeah, it's realistic.
Yeah, it is very realistic, but like I think that was the only problem I had with, not problem with it because it's a good episode. I was just like, I don't think I want to watch this episode again because of how anxious it made me. But I'd probably just give it a B.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fair. I think that's fair. And then I feel I like this episode a lot. I like the Peabodys a lot, even though it's a cartoon, even though it's a show, even though all of that, it's still this stuff like this gives me so much anxiety. We've all been there before.
Yep.
It triggers something in us. I think it's a very relatable episode because of that, but it's still an episode that you're like, oh God, I just, but I think it was still a really good episode. Like, very coherent story, beginning to end. We got our first appearance of Mitch Hedberg.
Oh, you said first.
I did.
I love Mitch Hedberg.
I'm going to give this episode an A.
All right.
Okay.
I win.
No plus,
I
no
got the
minus.
highest one.
That is how this works.
Yeah.
So here's the part that I'm scared about. Marcy.
Jason's grade.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I think it fits because you can be like, there's a level of grossness to something, right? I have oral fixation, so I'll pick up something, I'll just put it in my mouth and like I'll chew on it.
Me too.
Yeah,
Same. Relatable content.
I remember I was hanging out with my friend Adrian, and we were at a skate park, and I did it so often that I picked up this plastic, like one of those toothpicks that you put in like floss with it as well, and I picked it up. I was gonna throw it away, and Adrian came. He's like, "You son of a bitch! You put that down!" Like raising their fist to me because they did not want to watch that. And that's I never understood where that anger came from with Adrian, but the second I watched that motherfucker put those dentures in his mouth, I was right there. I was like, "Put them down right now!" I was so upset, and then I was just gonna give him, C. I was just going to give him a C. But then the second he's like, "Oh, it tastes like old man mouth." I was like, all right, D for dentures. Here we are.
All right. Still not an F, though.
I think that's fair. I think that's very fair.
Honestly, if I could go back and give him an F for the first episode when he was just like talking about his... Oh, I did give him an F. I did.
gave him-
Oh, yeah,
Episode
the
one,
first
F,
two
yes.
were Fs. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
both were. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And no, he deserved it. And I would... if
Fair.
I was waiting for that last thing where Jason showed up to say something, I was like, you're going to get an F if you say another thing.
Nice. All right. I think that's it for the episode. So is there anything we want to plug or promote?
Did you want to...
This is where Tim is going to add my Instagram in post
For your art,
because I
yes.
still have not made it.
Of course, you can find Adele's art Instagram at
Artisanal of Oddity. ARTIS Anal of Oddity.
That's such a cool name you came up with it. I
Thank you.
love the
Oh my
name
gosh,
that you
thank
came
you.
up with.
It literally took me hours to come up with, but I think it paid off.
Yeah.
It fits.
Yeah.
It fits.
That's good.
Martin.
Yes, I did an audio drama called Puzzle Valley. Season 1 is done. It has an original soundtrack. We're doing season 2 coming out. I don't know when the episodes are going to start coming out, but if in the meantime, please go check out the first series. It's a high school teen detective story, murder mystery, audio drama, a bunch of stuff. I worked really hard on it. Check out Season of the Curse, which is an old Halloween musical comedy thing that me and my YouTuber buddy, he hates when I call him buddy, my friend Nate, also known as Punkin Nonstop on his YouTube channel, we're doing Season of the Curse 2 with Tim and Adele are actually helping. Yeah, we're making some headway. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Please check that out. And yeah, that's what I got going on so far.
Heck yeah, dudes. And as always, this podcast is brought to you by the Happy Corner Podcast. They are nice enough to let us use their recording studio, so we always give them a nice little plug at the end. The Happy Corner Podcast live streams 3 Sundays out of the month at the Happy Corner Podcast on Twitch and YouTube. And then the audio feed drops every, I believe it's Tuesday, wherever you find your audio podcasts. So come hang out with KB and Amy as they talk about everything, honestly. All kinds of stuff. So Happy Corner Podcast, check them out. That's going to do it for this episode of Rewatching Home Movies. Join us next week for Season 1, Episode 5, Yoko. If you liked what you heard, you can check us out at Linktr.ee/RHMpod. There you can like, follow, and subscribe. Send us an email like Tom Traeger, who sent us our first official fan art. Thanks, Tom. Or leave us a 5-star review. I will read 5-star reviews on the podcast, like this one from Apple Podcast Pooperson, who writes, "What a blast. Funny people talking about one of the best shows ever made. What's not to love? I enjoyed watching along with them." Thank you, Pooperson, and sorry to dox you like that. On behalf of myself, Tim, and my co-hosts Marcin and Adele, thank you for rewatching home movies with us. We'll see you next week. Bye.